All right, up next is the blanket stitch. So just like our other stitches, we're going to come up through the very first box or dot or whatever I've been calling it, and then we will tape it off. Okay, don't mind these. I kind of pre-punched them so I can go a little bit faster on these videos. So for the blanket stitch, just like the whip stitch, you'll be going over the top. And for the very first one, we want to come back through the first hole. So try your best, because our tape's in the way, to go through the very first one. Okay, and we are actually going to tie a knot on the top. So right there, and bringing my needle through, and right there. So this stitch is for bringing two pieces of fabric together. We're using paper, so it's a little bit more challenging, but again, you'll have two pieces of fabric that you're bringing together just like the edges of a blanket. Again, just like the whip stitch, we're going over the top, and see how I'm leaving like a little bit of space? I want to bring my thread, or my needle and thread, through that again, and I'll be creating this sort of like ladder looking pattern. Here's my next one. I kind of went too far there. So find it and bring it around. Okay. So this stitch is really pretty. Good for like stuffed animals or plush toys. We'll be using it on felt. But if you keep going, you'll kind of have this really pretty ladder effect. I like it. And when you start working on your project, you want to be cautious of the spacing. We have dots, so luckily our spacing will be pretty good. But if you're doing it on your own, you've got to be sure that you're kind of paying attention to that. That way you don't have some stitches really far apart and others not so far apart. Unless that's the look you're going for. It's sewing, it's fun. If some stitches don't look great, but other stitches look fine, then I'm sure it'll be fine. So now that my thread is kind of short, I'm just going to tie it off now, and I'll rethread my needle to do another round, because I find that if I wait too long, I don't have enough space to kind of go around, especially if you have a longer needle than this. So I'll just tie it off now and start again and finish off the rest. Okay, I just finished my knot off in the back. If you notice, there were a couple times I had to tape and start over because this required a lot of thread. But if you look at the top, you should see kind of a running thread line. It looks much better when you do it with fabric, but it's complete. So let's add it to our sewing folder, to our blanket stitch area. Just go ahead and take a piece of tape, make it double-sided. Any tape will work. I just happen to have blue tape on hand, and add it in. All right, good job.